Welcome back to Predicting the NFL with Mickey G. We have finished the NFL regular season. It is now playoff times. We got the wacky wildcard weekend, and we got some great football coming up. So let's talk about how we did last week in Week 18. So this was actually the first Week 18 that we've ever done in Predicting the NFL with Mickey G. We took a hiatus from after the 2020 season, and then obviously this is the first season back, so we missed that uptick in number of weeks for the season. But how do we do last week? We went 9-7. We missed out on that 6-week streak of 10 plus correct predictions again. So we had two 5-week streaks, and we missed the 6th again. Last week was ridiculous. All right, with a lot of teams resting people and then still winning football games. I mean, there was a lot of changes. It's hard to predict that week. It's hard to predict that week. I'm okay with it. We got all of our special game picks incorrect again, and I wore the Bears jersey, and they ended up winning, which I didn't think they would do. Helped that Jordan Love did get injured, but it happens. Now for the entire season, we are 175-97. We now have more total correct predictions than we have had in any season ever. We officially passed 2017. That year had 170. We now have 175. I did look and see, since we have this extra game, the percentage compared to 2017's, and both were around 64%. 2017 64.1% correct predictions, and 2024 64.3% on correct predictions. So we did pass it by a little bit. So it's officially the best season we've ever had, best regular season we've ever had, and now it's time to lock in for the playoffs and try to make it the best season we've ever had. This season we went 175-97, like I said, 8-10 in games of the week, 5-13 in upsets, 6-12 in crap fests. Teams were 10-8 when I wore their jersey, and my picks for the jersey games was also 10-8. So honestly, pretty bad season when it comes to the special games. I was just not hitting on those picks at all. Obviously, since this was the first Week 18, then the total statistics are just the same as that. But let's talk about our total statistics. So all time, including all seasons, we are 965-631, 46-40 in games of the week, 26-60 in upsets, 44-42 in crap fests. Teams are 21-17 when I wear their jersey, and I am 16-20 in my jersey picks. Let's talk about what led us to where the playoff teams are now. Last week, the Ravens beat the Browns, ended up winning the division. Bengals beat the Steelers. Steelers ended up getting second in the division, moving to that wild card spot. Texans beat the Titans. Titans got the first overall pick. Jags lost to the Colts, overtime thriller. The Bills lost to the Patriots. They're able to beat the backups there. Shout out Milton. Playing phenomenally, actually, against that Bills defense. The Chargers smacked around the Raiders. They wanted to be able to play the Texans in the first round of the playoffs. The Broncos absolutely boat raced the fifth stringers for the Chiefs, 38-0, punching their ticket into the playoffs. The Jets beat the Dolphins, and Aaron Rodgers and those guys proved that the Dolphins did not deserve to be in the playoffs, especially not with Tyler Huntley quarterbacking the team. Rodgers also passed 500 total touchdowns in his career. The Bears beat the Packers, helped that Love did go down early in the game. However, they were down. They tried to punch back. They were winning for a little bit right at the end there and allowed a field goal to lose the game. The Commanders beat the Cowboys. They just kind of handled business there. The Buccaneers and the Saints went back and forth for a while, and then the Bucs locked it in late, and Mike Evans was able to continue his 1,000-yard streak. The Panthers and the Falcons had a complete shootout, overtime, crazy stuff. went on forever, and the Falcons ended up losing, which knocked them out of the playoffs for sure, but the Buccaneers had already won anyway, so it didn't totally matter. The Eagles, even playing all of their backups, were able to beat the Giants. I don't know how the Giants beat the Colts last week. Just poverty franchises on both sides. And the Seahawks were able to beat the Rams and Jimmy G, even though Jimmy G did give it his all. The Cardinals beat the Niners backups by a lot, 47 points for the Cards. Unfortunately, it's a little not enough, a little too late. And the Lions absolutely destroyed the Vikings in what was Sam Darnold's potentially worst game as a Viking. Dude was completely lost out there, could not complete a pass, just missing everything. It was just a terrible game from him. And the thing was, they were still close and in it for a while because Jared Goff was trying his best to lose the game as well. And then eventually the coaching kind of won out on the Lions side, and Darnold never really got his footing. And so the Lions ended up with the first seed in the playoffs, and the Vikings ended up in the wild card spot. So now it's time to talk about the predictions for this week, the wild card round. The first one on our list here is the Chargers at the Texans. I have been hating on the Texans all season long, okay? In their last 8 games, they are 4-4 with a loss to the Titans included in there, and their wins over the Cowboys, Jags, Dolphins, and Titans. They have not looked good for a while. And the Chargers, on the other hand, have been looking pretty good. Their losses coming against the Chiefs, the Buccaneers, and the Ravens, who are actually good football teams. The Chargers have been looking so much better. I trust in Herbert. I trust in Harbaugh, even though I don't particularly like the guy for getting that championship for Michigan. I will be okay with him if he gets a championship for Herb. They're winning this game. I don't know why I'm talking so long about it. Chargers getting this one. Next is the Steelers at the Ravens. This is our jersey game of the week. I wanted to wear the AB jersey. Unfortunately, Jay already left the house, and he had the AB jersey with him. Either way, I'm still going to shout out CTESPN. Thank you for live streaming the Jake Paul fight on Twitter because Netflix couldn't figure out what it was doing. Zay Flowers is out for this game. That is a big blow for the Ravens. Pro Bowl receiver Zay Flowers over Brian Thomas Jr. That's going to hurt him a bit. When the Steelers played the Ravens without their number one, they looked lost. So Ravens going to be playing the Steelers without their number one. That's going to hurt their passing game. And the Steelers got Pickens back. They've been able to rest up a little bit more. I'm doing it again. I'm picking the Steelers. This might be a bad pick. This might ruin me. This might blow everything. We'll see. But I'm picking the Lurs. All right, they haven't been able to get a victory in the playoffs since the 2016 season, and I think they're going to turn it around here. I've seen a lot of Russ slander on the timeline, and I am not appreciating it. I think he can do it. Lamar is getting all this MVP hype. I think it should be Josh Allen's. I'm hating a little bit. This is definitely a very biased pick, okay? I think the Steelers can do it. Next is the Broncos at the Bills. The Broncos snuck in there with that 7 seed. That's not a real playoff seed. The Bills are going to go in there. They're going to take care of business. Josh Allen, MVP season. I love to see it. He's getting the victory here. Moving to the NFC. Okay, I think the Steelers-Ravens is the hardest game to pick in the AFC, and I think this one here is the hardest game to pick in the NFC. Vikings at the Rams. Both teams were super hot finishing the season. Both lost in the last week of the season. One of them rested their starters. The other one played their starters, granted against a very good team. Rams looking really good. Matt Stafford in the playoffs since joining the Rams has a Super Bowl underneath his belt. And last year, even though they lost to the Lions, had a fantastic performance. I think with all the guys healthy, getting that rest last week, Rams are looking really good. And Darnold put a lot on tape last week of how to beat him, how to get him rattled, how to stop that team on the offense and defensive side. Lions had a lot of plays, a lot of big plays, a lot of good plays that were able to score points against that team. And so I think if the Rams focus in on that tape in the previous games in the season, McVay is a great coach. Nothing against KOC. I think he's a great coach too. But I think without the home field advantage, considering this game is being played in Arizona instead of LA, I still think the Rams can get this one. Next is Washington at the Buccaneers. Since Evans came back, the Buccaneers have been pretty darn good. Defense leaves a little to be desired, but offensively, Mayfield is going out there slinging it. Evans is making plays. They got Bucky Irving locked and loaded. Rashad White helping out as well. Kate Otten, solid guys there. In Washington, I think with that rookie QB, that's going to hurt him. This could be the game that he loses. We could see some rookie mistakes in this one. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers here. I think they're the better team. I really like the Buccaneers. Them and the Rams, I think, are who I would like to see going against each other in a championship game here. The rest of the teams I got a little bit of bias against in some way or another. So, picking the Buccaneers in this one. And our last game of the playoffs of Wildcard Weekend, we have the Packers at the Eagles. Packers I've been picking as an upset in a lot of games of the week and a lot of just upsets in general. When they've been playing, they've had a solidly tough schedule. Struggle in their division. Eagles may not be in their division, but they have lost to them once already. Eagles, I've been picking against a ton, and they keep proving me wrong. I don't think I can do that in the playoffs. I think the Eagles are going to go out there and win. They had a nice break last week. Their backup quarterback showed that they can, if they're not playing weird, they can go actually put up numbers. So I think even if Hurts doesn't come back fully healthy, if he needs to sit down for a little bit, I think the Eagles are still going to be in control of this game. And the Packers, I just don't know if they have the full roster to be able to win games in the playoffs. So I am going with the Eagles in this one, and that closes out the predictions for the wild card round. Let's hope it stays a low number so that I can try to stay under 100. We're at 97 right now. It's going to be a tough one. Thanks you for coming out and watching. Stay and come back next week and all that great stuff. And hopefully we're doing well in our predictions, but we'll see. See you next time.